slick.
Eric can handle that.
I slipped on it going through the parking lot.
Today's meeting of the Municipal Code Enforcement Board is called to order on Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025. Welcome, everyone. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
When you're done.
Okay. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm a stand-in for today, so bear with me. So please be seated. Agendas of today's meeting are on the wall at the entrance to the chambers. Please remember to turn off your cell phones or silence them. The Municipal Code Enforcement Board consists of 7 members who are appointed by the City Council. We serve voluntarily. It is the board's intention to promote, protect, and improve the health and safety and welfare of the citizens of Clearwater by providing this equitable, effective, and inexpensive method of enforcing certain codes within the city. The board considers new business items in 2 parts. First, the violation, and then affirmative relief. Formal rules of evidence do not apply. Each side is limited to 15 minutes. The board may grant additional time. All proceedings will be conducted in a calm, civil manner. Individuals who conduct themselves otherwise will be asked to leave. If necessary, they will be escorted from chambers. Now, I will ask anyone that plans to speak, please stand and be sworn in. That was easy to say.
Do you swear to promise to tell the truth throughout your entire testimony? I do. Thank you.
Board, our first order of business is to review and approve the minutes of last month's meeting. May I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Minutes are approved. Is there anyone here to speak on items not on the agenda? Well, that was easy. I won't even say yes, please step forward then. Next to the new business. Okay, please come forward.
Is this on the today case or outside? Do we know?
This is not something not on the, so this is not on the agenda?
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Can't be on
Perfect.
the agenda.
Yes, please state your name for the record.
I'm Chris Steiner. It's in regards to 1261 or 1259 Pierce Street.
Okay.
And I'm just here to ask, I don't know if it can influence you to, I'm the tenant, I'm required to clean up, I'm responsible for cleanup. And I've had issues with the landlord not fixing the roof and causing, I believe, fungal infection in my sinuses and my body, making it hard to focus. And work and, not causing me to sleep, sinus headaches and stinging in my sinuses. So I'm just focusing on moving, but, as well as cleaning up, of course. So I was just informed 4 or 5 days ago that I didn't pass inspection. So I just wanted to let you know I'm working on it. My landlord isn't here, and he's not very responsive
Okay.
on this or other issues I've had with him. But
Is this a business or a?
it's a home, it's a duplex.
It's a home, it's a
Yeah.
duplex, okay.
And there are other issues with it. He's not responding to, not paying the rental fee or whatever that is. Not sure.
Okay, well,
Or-
we'll see that, eventually, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's just not very responsive, but that's what I'm just saying. It doesn't excuse me from not having cleaned it up, although I didn't know it didn't pass inspection until actually now 5 days ago. So
Can I ask
I
a
didn't know.
question?
Yeah, we have a question for you.
Is this a current case, or is a?
Sounds like a
complaint?
current case.
All right,
Is it a case on today's agenda?
it is.
Okay. Sir, if you want to have a seat today, we may call you back up during the agenda item. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's got to, can't be on the
Stevens.
agenda.
No, Stevens.
All right.
Stood up, so I just said
Yeah.
Stevens.
4.1, continued from June 2020, case 3825, find respondents Doel Partners LLC at 39 Turner Street, in violation of code for surfaces. Is there anyone here to speak on that? No? Danielle, you got the floor.
All right.
All right. Good afternoon, Board. Daniel Kasman, Code Enforcement Inspector for the City of Clearwater. This is case number 38-25 for 39 Turner Street. There's one violation here for Code Section 3-1502B for exterior surfaces. These are the dates the notice of violation was sent out with the compliance date. I've been in talks with the owner for a long time now, since they purchased the property. I guess their original plan was to demolish it. It's a parcel with actually 3 homes on it. If you've ever been by the area off of Orangeview and Turner. The issue was that the exterior of the buildings was in poor repair, and we had asked them to fix it, but they had told us we were looking to demolish and turn the whole thing into a different project. But over time, they've added tenants to the property and then not addressed the exterior surface issues. So we'll go through the slides here. This was back in January. There were some issues. Most of the issues were with the metal building on the property, though the front bar building at 39 Turner had some old chipped and peeling paint, some minor damages to the exterior. That's a better look at that middle building. This was a notice of hearing for it was supposed to be heard last month. They asked for a continuance because they said they were going to get into compliance before this date. It was the same state of the teal building, and the middle building was in the same state. They did paint the main building there at 39 Turner, and they had asked for the continuance to demolish the middle building. This was taken care of. This is also yellow now on the rear there. But then they called me 2 days ago and said now they're going to keep the middle building and try to fix it up. And I said, well, we just can't keep continuing this. We need to have a date of compliance for exterior repairs. In the meantime, the third building is starting to also show a little bit of wear and tear around the window sills. There's a little bit of damage, missing and chipped peeling paint, and there's a little carport on the side too, which could use a little bit of paint as well. They haven't finished the fascia boards there. So compliance met for exterior surfaces by repair of the exterior, removal of all chipped and peeling paint, and repainting where necessary. And for case number 38-25, 39 Turner Street, requesting compliance on or before August 23rd, 2025, or a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day the violation continues to exist.
Can I have a motion from?
Is that the
First
first
call is the
motion?
motion.
Is it first?
Yes, it's first motion.
I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
May I have a second motion?
For me.
I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to
There
correct
you
the
go.
violations on or before
August 23rd.
August 25th.
August 23rd, 2025. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 for each day each violation continues to exist. If fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second?
Second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes, thank you. Continued from June 25, 2025, case number 4725, Belcher Professional Complex, 1419 South Belcher Road. Is there anyone here to speak on that? Please come forward. We'll have them through there.
Four. I should have rewrote this agenda item, my apologies. So last month you did hear this case and you did find the violation, or you found them in violation of the property. So now, today, you're just here to talk about the affirmative relief portion of it.
Okay. Hello, please state your name for the record.
Holly Jones.
Hi, John, okay.
Morgan Wirt.
Morgan Reed. And which, so, does Danielle want to speak before you then, for his part, or who's going to speak on it? Come on up.
Good afternoon, Board. Kevin Maddox, Clearwater Code Compliance. You heard this from me last month, and then at the end of it, you were asking them to come back a month later to review what further information that they had. I don't have anything further to present.
Okay.
It still remains in the same state as it was when it was presented last month.
Okay. Come forward again. You could tell us what your actions are going to be to bring it to a better state, I guess would be.
Thank you.
important.
So what we've accomplished since we were here last is actually a little more than what we thought we could accomplish in that time frame. The civil engineering was completed. The decision for full demolition was made as well. The decision about the second story has been made. The second story will also be, the bottom floor will be 8,260 square feet, matching square footage on the top. The breakdown of what uses that will be and how that will look is here as well. The demo contract was awarded. Pre-construction meeting was set with Kevin Garriott with City of Clearwater for August 26th, or excuse me, August 6th. The locate has been out and services disconnected, utility services with the removal of that equipment is scheduled for within the next 2 weeks. The asbestos survey was completed and they found, the asbestos testing was performed. We have some minor abatement that's scheduled for July 30th. The demolition permit was applied for. The plumbing cut and cap was approved on the 18th. The demolition portion has not yet been approved, but we understand that after we complete the asbestos remediation and provide the letter of completion to Pinellas County Air Quality, that then they'll go ahead and issue that demolition permit, and demo is set to begin. The demo contract had already been awarded before we were here last time. The boundary survey was done, asbestos testing done. That's where we're at right now. We're in permitting, the demo or waiting for the demo permit, pending the air quality completion, the completion of the asbestos abatement sent to air quality.
Perfect, thank you. Do you have any further to add, or no? Okay.
You've been busy.
Okay, do you have any
Yeah.
questions to ask?
we
You know, just, just the observation that you've been busy. You've done a lot. It's great.
Did you get that engineer's report on the 2 levels?
Yeah, that came from Howard Civil Engineering. That was the first thing. We've got the civil engineering report back, which allowed us to make the decision that the entire building will come down, and also that we'll go back with the second story as we'd hoped we'd be able to, at the identical square footage of the bottom, 8,260 on the bottom, 8,260 on the top.
Nicole, do we just do a refresh in a month, or what do we do at this point?
You just need the second motion.
To do,
Mr. Chair, may I ask a question? May I? You said you had a contract for demolition, is that right?
Yes.
Do you have a timeline for that as well?
They're just waiting. They're ready to go once we get the demolition permit.
Was there any estimate provided by the contractor
For the demolition?
in terms of how long that would take?
He hasn't said yet.
We can
Yeah,
find
we
out
can
and
definitely-
and submit
Once
it.
he starts the job, did he say how long it would take once he's allowed to start?
I apologize, he did not, but I'll get that information and submit.
Okay.
They'll be ready to start as soon as,
Oh, to start, yeah, they're just waiting for the permit and they'll start immediately. I thought you meant for completion of the.
I'm just asking a few questions to try to get an idea of what kind of time frame that you're going to be requesting. The city's requesting, how many days are we?
Rebecca Mulder, Code Compliance Manager. So when this was presented last month, the recommendation was to have compliance by August 23rd. So do you feel that that is adequate to get your permit in place or get the structure?
The permit for sure, because the asbestos remediation is scheduled for July 30th, which is a week from today. And then we should be able to very quickly after that submit that to air quality, which should be the only thing keeping us from getting the demo permit. And then once we have the permit, Sarnago and Sons is ready to move on it. We originally asked for, our contractor, last time we were here, said he thought 90 days to get the building, for it to be down. And we wanted to, you guys wanted us to come back and show you what we had gotten done so far. Correct, nothing has changed physically on the site, but we knew that it wasn't likely in 30 days that anything would change that you could physically see. I asked that question when I was here last, what exactly you would be looking for in those 30 days. So with our contractor's recommendation and time frame having not changed, I would assume that 60 days would be what we need to,
So around end of September.
right?
and then we have the pre-construction, the application construction meeting
August
on
6th.
August 6th, so, to see what happens
Well,
with
that's
that.
for the
We have two questions
construction,
from the
but
board.
not demo.
Yeah, if we're thinking in terms of compliance with the fact that they're now, I don't recall exactly what the original violation was. It was, whatever, abandoned building. So my
Right.
question is, with demo in mind, what does compliance consist of? Is that a new definition, or what does that consist of?
Rebecca Mulder, as far as our case goes, once they demolish the structure, that's where the violation goes. So we don't get involved in the reconstruction for the new building that they're putting in place. So the pre-construction meeting, all that would happen is outside of us. Once there's no structure, there's no violation. So we're looking for compliance to either reactivate the building or demolish the structure. So if they're thinking that that can be accomplished within the 60-day time period and it's already been found in violation with you guys, then the recommendation would be to seek the end of September, whatever the next code board meeting was, to gain compliance by then. And they can also work with our staff, of course, if there's hiccups or something along the way in regards to the permitting process.
A follow-up to that would be if, with that in mind, if there's an idea of how much time it's going to take till the building is demolished, and if the final demolition of the building constitutes compliance, then what are we doing and if the city's asking for like 60 days, how do those numbers shake out? If it's, is there an extension, or is there an adjustment of the timeline to allow them to get into compliance if they're actively working on it? I'm looking for a little bit of footage
Yeah,
there.
if they, so if you find them in violation, give them till the end of September. If for some reason they're getting close to that deadline and they haven't obtained the permit or completed the demolition, then we would be looking for them to reach out to us to let them know that there's an issue there. We obviously monitor the permits, and as long as there's a line of communication and there's a justification for that delay, then we can work with the property owner on when we submit that affidavit of noncompliance, or if we submit that after that time period. As long as we see movement and communication, we work with property owners.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just one quick question. On your demo contractor, is he also handling the air quality of the asbestos?
That is a separate company,
I hope so.
and I can answer
Yes.
that for you. That is number.
Yeah, that's a whole different ballgame than demo.
It's got to be a license.
Definitely, and set up, yeah, it's very, very strict, yeah.
Yes, that is, you have it?
Because the reason I'm asking that, I'm not being coy, is most demo contractors aren't graduated to air quality removal of
Understood.
asbestos.
Yeah, and that, in this case, is O2 Consulting, Inc. is who has handled the asbestos survey.
Okay.
Good title.
And the remediation is number 6. Is Oris Lee Voigtman, IBC Engineering Environmental Construction.
So will they start that before the demo contractor comes in?
Correct, that
Okay.
abatement has to
That'll
be
be first
completed
on the
before.
list.
Yeah, and that's
Okay.
scheduled for the.
I just want to make sure,
Yeah.
usually it is, I
Yeah.
just wanted to
Yeah.
ask, I was curious. Thank you very much.
ADS, I apologize, ADS is the name of that.
ADS.
Asbestos
Oh,
and
okay.
demolition,
Yeah,
abatement
I
and
know that
demolition
company.
services.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Do we have a motion to move this to September? There is no motion in the books here to make a motion, we move it to September date.
Are-
What's the date in September, Nicole?
The September date is the 24th.
It's the 24th, so if somebody can make a motion to continue this to September 24th.
Or, I'm sorry, or is this for a compliance date, or is this to continue to?
Mr. Chair, can I make a comment to that? If the board continues the case, then they would have to come back if the situation is not resolved by then. If the board gives a deadline, then the staff has the ability to work with them, and if they're pending in permit, for example, at that time, they wouldn't necessarily have to come back in September if we still have some
Okay.
issues to work out. That's why we're asking for a deadline. That's why we can work with them. The definition of abandoned building references permits, and so if they're making progress and there's some little snags and things like that, staff will have discretion to kind of extend things a little bit. But if you just continue it and we're still in limbo at that time, they will have to come back and present to the board again. So we're asking for a deadline with a fine, and then we'll allow staff to give grace if it's needed.
Okay.
What's the amount of the fine?
We can use the first and second motion.
Yeah,
It's $150, the fine for now.
wouldn't it just be the second?
With a date of September 25th?
September 25th, yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Do I have a first motion?
September 24th.
September 24th.
September 24th. Do I have a first motion?
Oh, 24th.
Yeah, I've got the calendar.
I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit.
You've already found them in violation.
Okay, so we
Yeah.
just go straight to the second?
Second, yeah.
Okay, straight to the second then.
I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before September 24th, 2025. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day per violation each day each violation continues to exist. If fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. So that means that if all that happens before then, we don't need to see you again, and you go on with your project.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Case number 49-25, Leslie Conklin and Deborah Conklin, 435 Lotus Path, in violation of code for exterior surfaces, doors, windows, openings, roof maintenance, and public health. Anybody here to speak on that?
Yes, Les Conklin.
Okay, please come forward. We'll have you forward for a minute, and then we'll sit you back down for a minute. Sorry about that. You could state your name for the record.
I'm Leslie M. Conklin,
Do you need an address, Nicole?
430 Lotus Path, Clearwater, Florida.
Very good. Do you admit or deny
Deny.
the violation? Okay. If you'll have a seat just for a moment, we'll let Mr. Castman explain it, and then we'll have you back up too.
Thank you.
So don't go too far, please.
All right. Good afternoon again, Board. Daniel Casman, Code Inspector for the City of Clearwater. This is case number 49-25, 430 Lotus Path. Actually, there were 5 violations at a certain point, but now there's only 4. And one of them is going to be a declaration, so 3 remaining. One was Code Section 3-1502B for exterior surfaces, Code Section 3-1502D1, D3, and D4 for roof maintenance, Code Section 3-1502C1, C3, and C4 for door and window maintenance, and the last one, Code Section 3-1503A, B3, B5, B9 for the hazardous pool. The pool is now clean, so I'm just going to ask for a declaration of violation on that one when we get to it.
Okay.
So these are the dates notices of violation were sent out with the compliance date. I have spoken with Mr. Conklin before about what was going on at the property. He did come in compliance with a few other things involving the fence that had fallen down after the storm, so given more time. This is a look at 430 Lotus Path. I don't know how it looks on from what you guys can see, but there are some issues with the exterior. What I keep seeing though is persistent splotching across the entire structure from the paint. And there was a few damaged areas. You look down low there, you can see some damage to the corner piece, cornice trim there. On the other side, there was chipped and peeling paint, same kind of splotching effect. But the complaint came in from the neighbor about the pool being green and about the roof of the garage had collapsed on the property. This is a better look at it from there. I believe it was from after the storm. Mr. Conklin could clarify that. And then in addition, the garage door was damaged and the fence had fallen down. That was providing access to the pool at the time, but then, like I said, the fence had gone back up. Again, some more exterior surface issues, and then one of the windows on the second floor was boarded up. This was after the compliance date. I think at this point the fence had gone back up, but there were the other issues with the exterior and the window trim and the window being closed up. The pool was still green. I guess that time the fence was still down. Same issues with the garage. This was back in June. As you can see, that one long strip of trim on the right side has been painted. But on the exterior, still some little minor damages. Again, it looks like the splotching or, I don't know, peeling paint. The garage was in the same state, but the fence was back up, so I closed out that portion of the violation. Again, more paint had been put on the window trim, but the garage door was still damaged and the pool was still green at that time. And then I'd also noticed there's a little bit of fascia damage on the second floor as well, if you look there in the middle of the picture on that second floor area. This was today. Again, at least that bottom section has been painted. Still a little bit, like you see those little bits and pieces missing. I could defer to the board of how much they want for exterior surfaces. Mr. Conklin can explain it, but the pool is now blue, so I'm ready for a declaration of violation on that. Same issue on the second floor with the window being boarded up, a little bit of damage to that fascia board, and now the roof of the garage seems to be pulling in the rafters now, so need to get that taken care of. So compliance will be met for the exterior surfaces by removing any chipped or peeling paint, repainting when necessary. Compliance will be met for roof maintenance by repairing the caved-in roof of the garage, repairing any damaged soffits or fascia on the home. Demolition of the garage is also the way to come to compliance. Compliance met for the door and window maintenance by removing any boards from the windows and replacing glass and repairing damage to the door of the garage. And compliance met for the hazardous pool. It's currently in compliance. So for all these violations, for 3 of them, really I'm asking for compliance on before July. That should be August 23rd, 2025, my mistake. And or a fine of $150 a day per violation for each day violations continue to exist. And I'm asking for a declaration of violation for the pool issue.
Let's go ahead and get the declaration of compliance done. So if somebody wants to do the declaration of compliance, I think that's.
Declaration of violation complied to prior to the meeting. I move to find the respondent.
Mr. Chair, if I may, the respondent did deny the violations. I think that meant that he was denying all of them. We should hear from him, and then the city would ask to be given the chance to respond to whatever he says about the violations.
Sir, if you can come back forward, please. Just trying to get the good news out of the way first. I'm trying to get the best news out of the way first.
I don't deny the roof on the garage. I did have the garage door fixed. During the storm, both my pumps on the pool were knocked out. They had to be replaced, put a new filter, and then my pool guy quit. He went to another job altogether, meaning he left the pool business. So I've hired another pool company. My wife told me today the pool is blue. So that's being worked on. That should be cleaned up very shortly. This is really the first time I've heard about the model paint. When I first talked with Mr. Kasman, there had been damage on the west side of the home from the storm. Some siding was missing. I had the siding replaced, had it painted. I thought that's what the painting violation was. Had all the windows fixed. The sills were redone. Broken window, I don't know anything about that. I live there and I don't know of a broken window. And I need more time for the roof for the garage. I've had difficulty getting a roof contractor to even come out. One, it's either too small of a job for them, they're doing bigger jobs, and two, they're working on other roofs. So I have a roofing contractor coming out tomorrow to give an estimate. I hope to have, a contract within a week or so. So to correct the violations before, as I say, I was surprised today by the model paint complaint. I thought the complaint was about the fact that the missing siding on the west side, which I replaced, had painted, so forth. I have been trying to comply. I'm 73 years old. I've lived there since 1981. My wife's 70 years. The complaint by the neighbor, he also wants to buy my house. So this is like, to me, a gentrification problem. I've reached an age where I'm a sole practitioner, attorney, practiced since 1977. The point is, I need to earn money as I go along to have this done. So I've done the fence, did the garage door, I've done the windows. I thought I did the painting. As I say, I was surprised that the complaint now is the entire house, the modeling of the painting. So now I take it the board is looking for me to paint the entire house. So that's another expense I'm going to have to earn money to do. I will not have a worker out there working, and I'm unable to pay him. So as I say, I'm going to work on the roof, next. I've done the pool, done the fence, done the windows, done the, siding. So, I'm trying my best, as I say, under a situation where, as I say, I have a neighbor who would like to buy the house.
Very good. Do you have any questions for him while he's up?
No.
Okay. Have a seat for a minute. We'll have Mr. Kasman back up. So.
I have questions.
Okay.
This modeling of the paint is, from what I can see in the pictures, what is that? Is that a touch-up with the color that doesn't match, or is it, what is the situation of the paint? Are you able to give us more detail on that?
Well, I kind of was wondering, and I was okay with anyone else with more expertise, ready to give me their advice on this one. He did take care of a lot of other painted areas of the property.
Mm-hmm.
It's just maybe I don't know enough about paint myself, but why does it look like that all over the house?
Splotchy like that.
Is it that the color is inconsistent?
Or is it a thickness issue when it was
Yeah.
originally done? Has it been
Gotcha.
too long? Is it fading? Is it peeling?
Okay, whatever the issues, is it the point that it's inconsistent and it doesn't meet what's called for under the code in terms of a finish?
Well,
I would, Mr. Kasman, can you put the notice up that shows the exterior surfaces code? The exterior surfaces code specifies that peeling paint is a code violation, and then it has some language regarding matching the material color bonding and joining when it goes to
Match as closely as possible. I'm sorry to
yeah, see
interrupt
that you found it though. That's
Yeah.
it. It says that it should be, exterior surfaces shall be free of mildew, rust, loose material, including peeling paint and patching. So I think that's the prohibition that's at issue here. And then, in terms of what needs to be done to comply, the next clause addresses that. It says painting or resurfacing shall be accomplished to match the existing or adjacent surfaces as to material, color, bond, and joining. And I do want to say too that we obviously recognize the situation and we don't want to impose any kind of hardship on someone. So in terms of timelines and things like that, we have a legal obligation to provide reasonable timelines to people. So I do want to say that, and we, defer to the discretion of the board in making that determination what's reasonable. But that's the code you see there. That is the code that we're obligated to enforce.
Thank you.
Inspector, I have one question. The owner said that he doesn't know of a broken window, but yet you say there are broken windows?
Well, the board window I'm talking about, if you look back on the photos, if we go back to the PowerPoint,
Cheers up again. There it is.
where's my pointer? On the second floor here,
Mhm.
it's boarded up, not
Yeah.
necessarily broken, just you can't board up our windows either. They have to be in good- And as far as the garage door goes,
And there are other windows that need to be repaired as well?
I believe that's the only one that I can
Only
see.
one.
The garage door, and this, let me find the most recent photo. It's this here, the garage door is still damaged.
Yeah.
That's part of doors and windows, applies to all doors, all windows.
What's the date on that photo, if you please?
This is today.
Okay, all right.
I went there this morning and took a look. I mean, I would assume it'd just be part of the garage repair in general, whether you're gonna keep it or repair it,
Yeah.
take care of all of it. That's what I was talking about, the windows and doors. It's,
Have you been in contact with the owner, Mr. Conklin, on?
we were more in contact in the beginning of this case. It's been lingering and lingering. And I didn't know what his plans were with the garage, whether he was gonna keep it or demolish it. It sounds like he's got the contract. He's told me it's been hard to find a contract for the garage. And the fence did go up, which at least kept people from going into the pool area. Now the pool's clean.
Right.
And again, most of the major concern is the caved-in roof of the garage. The other stuff is easier to handle in a certain way than that.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Board, any other questions for you?
I have
Mr.
questions for
Conklin?
him as far as.
Yeah, I've got a question
What kind of
for Mr. Conklin.
timeline he's
Mr.
looking
Conklin,
at.
if you can come back
Exactly.
forward, so.
That window's not broken. That's a curtain over that, and it's not boarded. Flat out. As far as that garage door, that was the one that I didn't understand that was the complaint. Part of that side fence that you see on the left, there was a gate to that, and I thought that's what he called it, for lack of a better word. That gate was replaced. What you're seeing on that garage door, though, is something in front of it. I think that's a garbage pail. There is some boards at the bottom because there was some rot damage from water, but it's not what it appears on that picture.
Is that a shade, a pull-down shade over the windows?
Yes.
Okay,
On the interior.
yeah.
I mean, my next door neighbor's boarded up all of his windows because he goes away for 6 months.
Yeah.
But no, that's not boarded up and it's not broken. That's the master bedroom.
Yes, I have shades, those kind of shades over my windows too, at home, and sometimes it looks, from the street though, it looks like it's been boarded.
It isn't. As I say, that's on the inside. It
Yeah.
has not been boarded. The window is not broken. I sleep in that room every
Okay.
night.
I have a follow-up question.
Oh, and the paint, I deny that the paint is chipped or peeling. What Mr. Casman's complaining about is that the paint color is not uniform, that it has some splotching. I can't remember when I had the house painted last, but the splotching is probably sun damage. So, but it is not peeling or chipped or, missing. That part, from the damage of the storm, I had repainted and, replaced siding and, fixed that. So the complaint now is the color's not uniform.
Before you leave, sir, I have a couple other questions for you. Do you feel like you have a grasp or understanding of the repairs that are being requested by the city?
No, if they're talking about I have to repaint the house, to, you know, and the splotching, that's the first, as I say, I've known of that. The, you know, any chipping that there was, you know, I repaired and had painted and replaced siding. So, no, this is a new one on me. As far as the garage door, I completely misunderstood. There was a gate missing, which is, you can't see it from this picture, but the gate is perpendicular and actually facing the garage, and that was down from the storm. That has been replaced. Gate was, you know, put back up and fixed. And as far as this garage door, at the bottom, yes, I have some boards that cover the bottom where it was rotten. I understand it today. I didn't understand it before. But the picture that you're seeing is misleading. And there's something in front of the door. I think it's a garbage pail that you're seeing. It's not boarded up to that, you know, to waist height. It just isn't. It's no more than probably 3 feet.
But the garage door boards at the bottom, you can have those replaced, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
As I say, I didn't understand that was the problem. I thought it was the door to the gate, which was
Well, that's why we
attached to
have
the-
inspectors, so they can tell.
Well, and it was
Yeah.
down, so that's what I understood was the problem.
So if we gave, not speaking on behalf of the board solely, but if we give you an extra time, do you think you can get all the things that you now know of
Yes.
completed?
Yes.
Okay.
How much time you think you need?
Well, if we have storms come in, that's going to affect the roof repair. So I don't know. I would think if you could give me to, I guess, October 23rd. I'm mainly about the roof. The other things I can fix before then.
We meet on the 22nd.
It's a lot of time. You want to do September or October? It's up to the board.
I think there's two things at issue here, if I can speak. Number one, I think there's a difference, a little bit of difference in how Mr. Casman is looking at this per the building code and what the owner, how the owner is viewing this, and I think it would be important for you to be in contact with Mr. Casman and
All right, I lost
get into
contact. Keep in mind,
understanding.
also during this time period, I moved my office.
Understood.
And I have the same telephone number for my business, but it took several days, almost a week, to get it installed in the building in Largo. So,
Understood. I think it would be important for this, in order for this thing to resolve for you to be in contact with your building inspector so that there's an understanding of the things that need to be corrected in order to make this thing go away.
and in this case, this is Mr. Casman?
Yes.
Yeah?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't want a nebulous building inspector
Yeah, no.
name. Okay,
Would
I
be
understand.
compliance officer. Yeah.
At Mr. Katzman.
You want to set it for like September with to see where we're at, and if there's correction going on.
Yeah, our next meeting is September 24th.
Somebody want to make a first and a second motion for that, for the three motions that he needs?
Bob's doing it.
I'll be glad to do that. I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Second part.
I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before September 24th. Okay, if the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day per violation. For each day each violation continues to exist. If fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
Second?
Mr. Chairman, can we just clarify that that reflects the first 3 violations?
Yes, yes.
That just covers your first three violations because the poo is been declared.
We'll do
as-
that, we'll do that one separately, yes.
Yeah, we're going to do that one separate.
Second.
We have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
And now for the good one, we have a declaration of compliance. Page 6 or 8, whichever one you want to use, I think.
Why don't you do that one, Bob?
I move to find the respondent was in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case. The violation was corrected prior to today's hearing, and to enter an order that no fine be imposed. If the respondent repeats the violation, the board may order a fine of up to $500 for each day the violation continues to exist.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Your pool with the shining star of the day.
And we'll see you back on the 24th, so you can give us your progress report then. All right.
Or just have it cleared up, we won't see you.
Yeah. Whichever-
Rebecca Mulder, just for clarification, you guys ordered a compliance
Yes,
by
right.
September, not a update, correct?
Not an update, right.
Okay.
That is correct.
So he
That's
won't
correct.
be required to
Yeah,
come
you're not
back.
required to come back, everything's done, we just.
Yeah.
Thank
If
you.
everything's
The
done
next-
by then.
Just for the gentleman's clarity, the deadline in September, if the compliance officer determines that it's still in violation the day after, then he will be required to file what's called an affidavit of noncompliance. That would get scheduled for another hearing. He has discretion to delay the filing of that, or he may even determine that you're in compliance, and then he would file that, case would close. But if there's still some disagreement in regard of what to do about the paint, that would be something that you could work out with him, maybe buy a little bit more time through that affidavit process. But regardless, if you can't come to an agreement, ultimately he would file the affidavit of noncompliance. You would come back, you'd have another opportunity to make your case in front of the board at that time, whether or not you were in fact in compliance or not.
All right, thank you. Will there be a written order
Yes,
Yes.
issued for today?
yes.
All right.
It's very important you stay in touch now with Mr. Casman, because he can really guide you along the way and help you along the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your time. All right, moving on. Case number 50-25, I want to say Legoland, but it's Lago Land Corp. at 7115 South Gulfview Avenue in violation of for fences, walls, and issue order of compliance deadline be met. Is there anybody here to speak on that? Please come forward.
Chris, okay.
You could state your name for the record.
Yes. I'm Jeff Kastner, representing the owner and the general manager of Opal Sands and Opal Soul.
Okay.
Could you repeat your last name for me?
Kastner, Castner.
Thank you.
Do they admit or deny the violation?
Admit the violation.
They admit the violation? If you don't mind having a seat for a minute, we'll have Mr. Casman explain it, and then we'll have you tell us more.
Good afternoon again, Board. Daniel Casman with the City of Clearwater Code Compliance Division. This is case number 50-25 for 715 South Gulfview Boulevard. There's one violation there for Code Section 3-808A1 through 6 for fence maintenance. Now, these are the date the notice of violation, the compliance date was sent out. I could get the green card back from the owner. If you guys remember this lot, it's next to the new JW Marriott at 691 South Gulfview. They've had a fence up there for quite a while, but it seems like after the storms, it fell down and hasn't been put back up yet. That was back in April, this is in May. Just sections missing, sections falling over, some of the pylons left are bent and still in the ground. So I'd sent them the notice just saying either repair the fence or remove the fence. But as of this point, still nothing has happened.
It's a chain link fence?
Yes.
It's just hard to see because there's,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, it's just hard that you can see right through it, you
You
know?
can see right through
Yeah.
it. That's a
Yeah,
better
I can
shot
see
of
it better there,
Yeah.
yeah. I got you.
But it's
All right.
leaning over in places.
Yeah. And then this is, I just said, yeah, take a closer look. This is this morning.
Missing pieces.
Now, question, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Is that, I mean, I'm seeing overlapping sections, almost like temporary fencing sections? Or, and then I'm seeing fence posts further down that are bent over that are more
Yes.
permanent? I'm just trying to
Yeah,
figure
the
out what I'm
uprights
looking at.
further down as you take that turn on the Sankey Bridge, or a lot of, some of them are bent. I guess you could say some of them are still upright. But some of the fence panels are just sitting in a pile there.
Okay.
And that's been that way for quite a while, hasn't it?
Since the
Well,
storm.
since the storms, we've been trying to give people time to, out there on the beach since what happened, and it just so happened that we sent a notice of violation here. Again, all the city's really asking for is that we either restore this fence or we remove the fence.
Yeah.
Compliance will be met by repairing any sections of fence where it's fallen over or damaged. The other option is just to remove the fence. And I'm requesting compliance on it before August 23rd, 2025, or a fine of $150 per day for each day the violation continues to exist.
Thank you.
That's a simple compliance.
You want to come back up? Is there a plan for the fence at the moment?
Yes, sir, there certainly is. Apologize for the delay on our own fault. We had the name itself is tricky. It's not one we say every day, so this thing kind of got lost in the shuffle. But when we found out, we had contacted Smith Fence and had them out to come up with a plan for us. It got delayed because there was some confusion how long that fence was there. Some of you had mentioned you'd seen it for a long time. They couldn't figure out who put it up, how, where, when. Well, we cleared all that up in May and have a contract already signed that we paid for. We were supposed to have it up by the week of the 7th of July, but they got pulled to Pye Airport to do some emergency work. He's told me this week, he guarantees me on 7/28 he'll have the install done. So we'll have the fence from JW all the way around, all the way to the bridge will be done. It will be done not as a temporary fence, but put in poles and concrete. As you mentioned, there's a few of those. There was some temporary before. It'll all be more of a chain link fence with the black, whatever you call it, the
Greening.
the
Vinyl
cover
cover.
over it to
Yeah.
hide the back.
Coating.
And we'll keep it nice, like we did for a few years prior to the storm. We did let that go. We apologize, and it'll be done before August 1st. So
Okay, so August 23rd, you can meet that deadline without a
we
question.
certainly will.
Okay, thank you very much.
And you say it'll be up by July 28th?
July 28th, he's given me the install date. I hope he doesn't get
If
delayed at
everything goes
Pye,
well.
and
Yeah.
but we'll get it done. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Board, do I have any questions or a motion?
You want to do one?
First motion.
First motion.
I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Second motion?
I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before August 23rd. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of
$150.
$150 per day per violation for each day each violation continues to exist. If fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second, somebody?
I'll second it.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you for your time, and
Thank you.
look forward to the fence.
Thank you, sir.
Case number 51-25, find respondents Marco R. Encina, Hernandez Tres at 512 South Martin Luther King in violation of code for short-term rental in order to show compliance. Is there anybody here to speak on that? Yes, sir, if you can come up and state your name for the record.
Yes, my name is Marcos Pecunia, is Pecunia.
Do you admit or deny the violation?
Admit it?
You admit it? Okay.
Yeah.
If you could have a seat just for a second, and then he'll explain it, we'll have you back up to finish. Mr. Stevens?
Good afternoon, Board. John Stevens, Code Compliance Inspector for the City of Clearwater. This is case number 51-25 regarding 512 South Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard here in the city. We have one violation here using sections 1-104 and 3-9119 for illegal short-term rental. Notice of violation was sent out on 4/29 of this year, and it was also posted at the property. A previous courtesy notice had been sent out in the end of March notifying the property owner of the violation. When the property was posted, the compliance date was on May the 6th, and we received the certified mail signed back in the office on May the 12th. Here's the posting for today's actual hearing. And then here's our first listing for the Airbnb website that we found regarding this property. And if you look where I have it highlighted, if you're not familiar with Airbnb, when you normally go and select that box to put in your date, if the property owner has a minimum amount of stay that you have to stay, it will pop up and say 2-day minimum, 7-day minimum, whatever the case may be. There was no minimum at that time, and this was back on March 26th, which I have highlighted down there in the bottom corner as well. Also, at that time frame, in checking our listings to see if this property actually had a residential rental business tax receipt, it did not at the time. There used to be a previous one, but then the property had changed ownership, and a business tax receipt had not been obtained at that time. So when we fast forward, when I got the mail back and nothing had changed, I checked on April 29th, And the property had now been updated to where you had a minimum listing of at least 7 nights to stay at the property. And at the time frame, they still did not have a residential rental business tax receipt. So that's when the property got posted with the compliance day of May the 8th. On May the 8th, it still had a 7-night minimum stay and no business tax receipt at the time. On May 28th, though, we actually received in office an application for a residential rental business tax receipt from the property. But there's several things that the property owner left out. He did not indicate how he intended to rent the property, which by the application, you're supposed to put on there monthly, yearly, whatever you decide to do. And then down here, I don't know if you can see it, but this block actually describes what we define as a short-term rental, and that you initial saying that you acknowledge that. Basically, you understand you're not supposed to do that. So on May the 29th, I double-checked the listing afterwards of getting that business tax receipt, and it's still showing this property has a minimum listing for 7 days. And then when we fast forward to this morning, that has got it updated, but it's now for minimum of 5 days instead of going to 1 calendar month or 31 days. So compliance can be met for the illegal short-term rental violations by changing any rental listing on any website or platform such as Airbnb, VRBO, Booking.com, etc. to a minimum of 31 days or 1 calendar month. They can delete the listings altogether and choose to rent the property through a broker or something of that nature on a monthly or yearly basis. And then our recommendation for this case is we're requesting compliance by August 10th of this year, or a fine of $250 per day for the violation for every day the violation exists.
Board? Sir, if you want to come back forward?
Yeah. What I will do is I will change the minimum required dates. I was delaying that because was planning to move here to Clearwater. My wife is a teacher, so she was applying for start on August, but she don't have any offer. So we're gonna probably stay a year in St. Cloud that we have our primary residence. But I will make the changes today to comply with the codes.
Are you the owner?
Yes.
Okay. It's just 2 different names on my sheet here.
I'm sorry?
No, Marco Pecunia, that's him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, we have an
I
trust.
thought it was a different
Yeah.
spelling, okay.
Yeah. Well, thank you, and we'll go ahead and let the board make their motions. We have a first motion?
I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Do we have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Mr. Chairman, I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before August 10th, 2025. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $250 per day per violation for each day each violation continues to exist. If fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. So as long as you stay in compliance, make sure your, we call it BTR, business tax receipt, is in compliance as well, then smooth sailing.
Yes, it's important to fill that out correctly, your BTR.
I'm sorry?
Your BTR receipt, business tax receipt, it's very important you fill that out.
Okay.
You have to have that to rent.
Okay, I will.
Yeah,
Okay.
you work together and I'll take care of that.
He'll help you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Case number 52-25, find respondents Gonzalo Diaz and Selena Diaz at 1122 Brownell Street in violation for short-term rental and business tax receipt. Is there anybody here to speak on that one? Nope. Mr. Stevens, you got it.
Okay. Again, Board, John Stevens, Code Compliance Inspector for the City of Clearwater. Case number 5225 regarding 1122 Brownell Street. We have 2 violations here for, again, illegal short-term rental and the residential rental business tax receipt violation. Notice of violation was mailed and posted on May the 14th of this year. A previous courtesy notice had been sent on April 29th, but it very quickly got returned to sender back in the office. Compliance date for this was May 28th of this year, and as you can see here, there's the posting on the property I did, and that's the actual property in question. There's the posted notice for today's hearing. And then here's our initial Airbnb listing on April 29th. As you can see there, the highlighted section, it shows a 2-night minimum stay. And in checking on April 29th, the last business tax receipt was actually under a different owner and expired back in 2011. So there hasn't been one there for quite some time. After the compliance date, the listing had not been updated. It was still showing a 2-night minimum. And still a BTR had not been obtained. And then a spot check on June 26th, still showing a 2-night minimum. And no BTR had been obtained or applied for. And then this morning, we're still showing a 2-night minimum. And in checking the Acela files again for our business tax receipts, there has not been a business tax receipt applied for or obtained for that property as well as today. So compliance can be met for the illegal short-term rental, again, by changing any rental listing on any website or platform such as Airbnb, VRBO, Booking.com, etc., to a minimum of 31 days or 1 calendar month, delete the listing altogether, or rent the property on a monthly or yearly basis. And then compliance can be met for the residential rental business tax receipt by obtaining a residential rental business tax receipt or stop leasing the property altogether. And then our recommendation for case number 5225 is we request compliance by August 10th of this year, or a fine of $250 a day for the illegal short-term rental violation, and a fine of $50 a day for the residential rental business tax receipt for each day the violations continue to exist.
I have a question. Have you had any communication from the owner at all?
Have not.
Okay. No phone call. Do you have a phone number for them? They're just not answering. You just don't have any way to contact them other than the mail?
I don't have a phone number presently, no.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, perhaps some of our newer members would like to read. No?
Crickets.
Not.
I'll receive.
Page 1.
I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before August 10th, 2025. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $250 per day per violation for each day each violation continues to exist. If fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
How do we get the $50 in there?
Correct, yeah. So
Second.
can we modify the motion to say 250 for the,
Yes, $250 for the short-term, $50 for the business tax.
yes.
All right.
We can just add in $50 for the tax business.
There's 2 separate ones, so we can't combine them, right?
Not, you can't combine them, but you can make them both in the same motion.
Okay. $250 for the violation of code for short-term rental, and $50 for
Business tax receipt.
business tax receipt.
Business tax receipt, yeah, BTR.
All right.
Do I have a second?
Is that sufficient as a motion? Yes.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Good read.
All right. Case number, oh, shoot, where'd it go? Case number 53-25, fine respondents, Clearwater Angular LLC at 607 North Myrtle Avenue in violation of code for sign maintenance and issue an order for compliance.
Good afternoon, Board. Stephen Burkhardt, Sign Inspector for City of Clearwater. This is case 53-25 for 607 North Myrtle Avenue.
Is there anybody here to speak on that you know of? I want to speak on it. Thank you. Sorry about that.
So there's one violation regarding code section 3-1502I for sign maintenance. All signs shall be maintained in good condition in the form in which the signs were originally approved. free of mildew, rust, loose material, including peeling or fading paint or materials. Any loose, broken, peeling, or faded parts of the sign shall be promptly repaired, painted, or replaced. The notice of violation was mailed in March 2025. Complaint date was April 22nd, 25, and I received certified mail received in April 1st, 25. So this is a pole sign at the location. There was previously a law office in there, and as you can see, the cabinet is damaged. The paint is peeling, fading, and it shows some rust. Also, the face panels of that need to be covered, painted, or replaced with other face panels because the business is not active there anymore for many years. So this is another picture of the sign. You can see the side of the cabinet is broken and it sticks out. Then this is the total property, and you can see this is up to date, so it's no changes. And I had contact with the, he introduced himself as the property owner, a gentleman who was there at the location, and he said he is going to fix it, but I've never heard of him anymore, and I don't have a phone number also. There's no business tax receipt for any business at the location, and yeah, that's all I have for that. All right. Compliance for the non-conforming freestanding sign in need of maintenance can be met by repairing the sign and sign structure so that it's in good condition, free of any damage, rust, discoloration, fading, and or peeling paint elements, or remove the sign and sign structure. Okay. Recommendation for the case. Requesting compliance on or before August 25th, 25. If the violation continues to exist, impose a fine of $150 per day. Each day the violation continues to exist. Any questions?
Okay. Can I first motion?
I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Second motion?
I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before August 25th, 2025. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day each violation continues to exist. If fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving to again. Case number 54-25, fine respondents 949 Cleveland Street LLC at 901 Cleveland Street in violation of code for prohibitive signing in order to issue compliance. Anybody here to speak on that?
Okay.
Please come forward.
They have been sworn in.
Yeah, they are.
This case and the next one on the agenda will be heard together. It's the same property.
Should I read out the case number before we start? Should I read out that case number too, so it's in the record?
Yes, please.
Okay, we're also entertaining case number 55-25, fine respondents at 949 Cleveland Street at 901 Cleveland Street in violation of code for window signage. So thank you. Please state your name.
Thank you. I'd like to thank everyone for their time today. My name is Dania Rosario. I'm the Director of Operations for NM Residential, who manages Cleveland Street Market.
Okay.
What was the name of it?
Dania, D-A-N-I-A.
No, the
Rosario.
name of the business.
Oh, Cleveland Street Market.
Cleveland Street Market.
They
Gotcha.
came in late, we're not
Hello, my
sworn
name
in.
is Alexander.
Yeah, she's gonna
Cavallo.
swear him
Both
in.
swear.
My name is Alexander Cavallo. I am the marketing director for NM Residential, which also oversees Cleveland Street Market.
You two arrived a little bit late. Could you get sworn in?
Let me just swear you in. Were you sworn in?
No.
I don't think so.
So raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth throughout your entire testimony? Thank you.
And then
Mike Mastrosario.
thank you all. Do you admit or deny the violation?
Deny.
You deny the violation? You may have a seat, the three of you, for a moment. We'll have Inspector come up.
Stephen Burkhardt, sign inspector for the city of Clearwater. These are two cases, case 54-25 and case 55-25 for 901 Cleveland Street. There's two violations. The first violation is regarding code section C-705 D7C1, allowable sign area for window signs in the downtown district. The dimensional requirements, window signs shall not exceed 25% of any window or glass door opening. Where multiple windows present as one large window, the window grouping will be treated as one window for the purpose of calculating allowed signage. The total area of window signs erected along a street frontage shall not exceed 50 square feet. And the other violation is regarding code section 3-18061A, criterion limitation for sidewalk signs. A permit shall be obtained on a yearly basis for any sidewalk sign. It's also a sidewalk sign without a permit erected is also a prohibited sign. So that's 3-1804J. The notice of violation has been mailed on March 21st of this year. Compliance date was April 21st, 25, and certified mail received April 3rd, 25. So this is one of the sidewalk signs erected at the location that was in February 2025. There was no permit obtained for this one. That was of July 21st. There are two more sidewalk signs out there. As you can see, that one is in the middle of the sidewalk, so it is also a hazard for pedestrians. Then to the window signage. So this is one glass door. It's basically what we call it as one opening, basically. That consists of two doors, but we count it as one. This is more than 25%, the signage part of it. And this is for the Cleveland Street Market. Same situation, window signage over 25%. You can see here, a little bit, and here also the left and right panels, they're covered entirely in with signage, and then the middle part is also too much. It's over, the total is over 25%. This is a smaller window. It's also over 25. And this is as of today, so there's no compliance met. So it's still the same violations, but the sidewalk signs were not erected today, so the sidewalk signs are gone, so that's in compliance. But I would ask for declaration of violation for that case, for the sidewalk signs, because it's an itinerant transient, so they can be easily put inside and out. And more pictures. Compliance can be met by, for case 55-25, reducing window signage to 25% or less. And for case 54-25, abiding by all the criteria or by removing the sidewalk sign from the property and refrain from re-erecting one until a permit is obtained and all the criteria and limitations can be abided by. And that's for the window signage, allowable sign area for window signs in downtown district, requesting compliance on or before August 25th, 25. If the violation continues to exist, impose a fine of $150 per day. Each day the violation continues to exist. And that's the case 54-25. The recommendation for the sidewalk sign is requesting a declaration of violation. All right. Any questions?
I have a question. Are sidewalk signs allowed if they're permitted?
Yes, they're allowed with a permit. Right.
Okay.
One per business.
Okay. One per business?
One, yes.
So we saw, what, three different signs, were those all for the same business or different
So,
businesses?
at the parcel, that's one parcel, there's multiple businesses. Each
Right.
businesses can obtain one permit for one sidewalk sign. So, of course, the Slow Cafe, where you see two sidewalk signs, that wouldn't be allowed because they would be allowed one sidewalk sign.
Okay. Are there any guidelines or is there any code language that describes the placement of those?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
So there can be in the downtown district and Cleveland Street Market 5 feet away from the building.
Is it 3 or 5?
Actually, I'm not correct. I think this is only for the Cleveland Street Market up to Myrtle. So in that area, it's 2 feet. It's 2 feet maximum.
Yeah, I remember
from the
reading that
building.
ordinance
Yes.
years ago, yeah.
The only exception is for literally the Cleveland Street downtown district, but that only goes up to Myrtle, so that's already outside that area.
Yeah, it's a crowded area, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. You all could come back up for a moment. You could explain to us what your plan may be or thoughts?
Yeah, so to begin with, I'd like to clarify that Cleveland Street Market is definitely a unique asset in the fact that it is a food hall, which has 11 individual stalls inside, which are all for individual businesses. So each one of them has a stall. And I'd like to preface this by stating that all of them depend on having some sort of signage on the windows to be able to bring foot traffic inside. As of right now, we've already lost about 5 of those vendors because we did not have enough foot traffic and they could no longer, financially back this business. So half of our Cleveland Street Market is already empty as is. We are battling foot traffic on a daily basis. The signage in question was designed to be tasteful and cohesive. With the intent of supporting the small businesses. Our goal has never been to violate code, but rather to adapt to the market's distinct structure. It has over 846 square feet of window space available, and as of right now, we're only using 200 of those square feet, so it is less than 25% total. So definitely would like to allow Mike to discuss the, clarification, because we have been giving a lot of conflicting information regarding 25% of each window because of the market's unique structure, I would say. I'd also like to clarify that, once again, these businesses have individual tenants. Those 2 signs outside of the Slow or On The Go Cafe were not approved by me. They all come to me for approval. As soon as I realized that they had those outside, I did let them know that they needed to go online and apply for a permit in order to have that outside. So none of those signs are for Cleveland Street Market, which is what we manage. One of those was for one of our tenants inside, and the other one was for the cafe one. So all of these issues that were brought to our attention, I did provide photos to Mr. Steffen, letting him know that we had already removed those and that I had informed those tenants that they need to go online and apply for that permit before they can put those back outside. So those have already been corrected. I will let Alex speak regarding the window signage, and all we're asking is for consideration because, the food hall is kind of a unique business. It has a lot of people inside, and we can only do so much to help them with foot traffic.
I would like to also begin by clarifying that some of the photos that were shown were slightly outdated. We have been trying our best to align with the regulations. Specifically, again, those sidewalk signs have all been removed at this point. This has been communicated to Steffen. I believe some of the photos were also all the way back from February, and since then we have gone through different transitions into pretty much trying to align with the regulations. And so forth. In addition to that, some of those photos for the window signage also had some yard signs that were placed on their top windows, which are not permanent signage itself, and that has also been removed at this point. So efforts have been made for us to, follow regulations. Specifically, the sidewalk signage, I believe all of that has been resolved at this point. So The approach for denial would be specifically for the window signage itself. I did also bring some copies of some more updated pictures, if that's okay. This is my first time
Sure.
being here, so I don't know if it's okay if I could
Yes,
just.
we love to see them.
No, I also have some picture copies. It's a little bit, sorry about that. We can just pass them along. So apologies that the printer in the library upstairs was running out of ink right here. But this would be the entire space itself. Starting with area A, you can see that we have pretty much, I know that some of the photos that were in the PowerPoint had some signage and up in these top windows right here, but as you can see, we've kind of tried to limit that. Again, this would be the main signage that we're currently focusing on at the moment, and we're looking to get approval for. This would be our doors, and then we would have some lettering right above that. Right here in area B. Again, we would have some more of that signage right here with some more empty windows above the top. Empty windows right here, and then some logos advertising our Top Golf Swing Suites and our Cleveland Street Market name brand right there. We have our text signage and plain logos on each door. Keep in mind, we have multiple entrances, therefore, that's the reason why we have multiple areas with our logo on it. Right here, this would be area C. And then this would be our outer corner. Right here, you can ignore this A-frame. This has been removed. Again, we're focusing here on this signage. This is one of those yard signs that I was referring to. This has also been removed at this point. And then right down here at E, this banner has also been removed. However, all of this window signage is what we're looking to receive approval for.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How many tenants do you have at the moment? I've been there several times.
As of right now, we have 5. We finally got a small increase in foot traffic since we were able to put some of the window signage up. And since then, we've been able to welcome 2 new tenants. So again, them putting out these A-frames is just a small business owner with a pipe dream trying to get people to come in and buy food. So, but I'll let Mike speak.
Good afternoon. I only come to appeal to common sense of downtown, trying to make downtown work. It's a struggle just downtown, but they're even more of a struggle when you go up to the Nolan, where this is at the Cleveland Street Market. It's out of the foot traffic. So they need to try to do everything they can to promote business, and they did it aesthetically quite well. And as far as the square footage, as she mentioned before, it's 865.3 square feet of window space, 207.6 square feet of signage. So it is under 25%, but I will say that it does go against 50 square feet maximum. The difference is, it's how do you look at that 50 square feet maximum? And so, because I mentioned, I talked to some of the people on the staff, and they talked about 50 square feet, and I have to agree with them. It says 50 square feet. But at the same time, it's how do you perceive that? Because this building has multiple tenants. If it's one building, 50 square feet might be one thing. But this is multiple tenants, so they have to have the opportunity to compete. Now, I did a local search close to it, and I put this building up. This is right across from the future City Hall. I don't know if you can see that or not. And anyway, turn it the other way, there you go. There you go. Okay, if you can look at that building, that's one building. And they are all in compliant. They've got permits, they've all done their due diligence, they're in compliant. But if you take that one building and look at it, it's out of compliance because it's more than 50 square feet. The 6 electrical signs is more than 50 square feet, plus all the other signage that you'll see. But I'm not here to say this building's wrong or this building's right or anything else. As I said, I'm asking for common sense to say this is multiple tenants, this is a large space, this is not just one building that's over 50 square feet. It does fall underneath 25%, but it is more than 50 square feet. So I'm asking for the board to look at that and use common sense and say, we want to help downtown survive. We'd like to see this businesses grow. They've got room for more tenants. But if you take away the availability to let people know that there's businesses in this location, all you're going to do is destroy what they're trying to build, and that we don't need. So I appeal to you to please use common sense and how reading the actual code. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, can I ask him a question?
Yes, certainly.
Mr. Masisario, you had mentioned the square footage of the windows. Can you explain where those numbers came from?
Yeah, I went out and measured every window
Are you
myself. I
referring-
have all of them if you want them.
You're referring to the front windows that are in the picture, or are you referring to
I'm
all the
using
windows in the
all
building?
windows on the first floor in the retail area.
And you have measurements that you made?
There's 17 windows. I can go through each one of them. Each one I measure, and the total comes up to 865.3.
Okay, and then in
Let's see,
term-
if you'll notice on that building, it's like square here, big window.
Hmm.
You know, so that's all first floor, all retail. So if you have to look at it, it's 865.3 square feet.
And then in terms of the signage, how did you base your measurement for that?
When we bill, we make signs, because I'm the one who put the signs up. We bill by the square footage. And the square footage of the signs is the actual vinyl that's used. So for instance, if you'll notice, there's, not on that particular picture, but
Excuse me, can I say something
wanna-
before you take that picture down? Can I just make a comment? That's my client's building, that's 5 different tenants.
5 different tenants.
Exactly.
That's what
I just wanted to
that's
mention
in
that.
compliance.
Yes, exactly,
And
but it's
that's why
5 different
I'm asking
tenants.
the same thing. This is more than 5 different tenants.
I understand. But you use that as an example of the excessive signage. I just wanted to make that mention.
Okay. If you'll notice here, like this one block, it's the, so the square footage of the blue, well, without being exact, and I can print all this out for you, but if you'll notice, the blue is a solid, so that's gonna be completely. But when you notice, like, if you go over to the door where it's the Topgolf logo and Cleveland Street Market, it's not the square that it encompasses, it is the actual vinyl that's on the window. There's no other vinyl on that window besides that.
Okay.
So the actual vinyl square footage, but anyway, the actual square footage of the vinyl is 207 square feet, 207.6.
Okay,
So
and then
that's under
just-
25, but it is more than 50. So I'm asking for a variance or whatever, I guess might call it, but, you know, they're a business trying to make it, and it's aesthetically, it's not a distraction, it's not anything that anybody complains about. It's how you look at this one building comparably. And there's other buildings downtown that are even, you know, different, it's art, they call art. So there's a lot of different variances, but anyway, we're talking about this building and their livelihood and them trying to be able to rent and fill that place up so we have traffic down there. And I just think that we need to be a little bit lenient and look at this as, I see the code and yes, it is right, but yet, how do you look at it? So,
Well, thank you for your time.
thank you.
I'd like to bring up one important facet that nobody probably even knows about these windows. First off, we welcome your business to downtown. I live downtown. Glad to see you. Okay? Conformity is important with the signage. That's why we have ordinance. But the facet you probably don't know about is a safety feature. And I'm going to tell you what that is. Whenever you cover up as much area as you have with this signage, if you ever had any kind of emergency like robberies, the police cannot see what's going on when they come up to those doors, okay? It's their safety too, as well as yours. They have to be able to see what's going on in there before they enter. That can happen. I'm a former fireman. I've had to work with the police in another state where I'm from, and I've seen it happen many, many times on kind of signage covering up doors and windows. So it's also a very important safety factor for your benefit, and someone that might have to come in and help you save your life. That's why another reason we have these sign size ordinances. Just consider that. Keep that in mind, okay?
Mr. Chair, I just had one more question, was that our notices in this case were directed toward the owner of the property, which is 949 Cleveland Street LLC. I didn't hear anyone say that they were affiliated with that entity. Are you specifically?
Yeah, we represent. So we work for NM Residential. They manage all of those businesses. And then the owner of 949 Cleveland Street is Michael Meters, so we report to him. So we're affiliated with him.
Okay. And then, Mr. Chair, we have someone from planning here. I'd like for them to come up and explain how the signage is measured, because the code does not measure the sign specific to the vinyl and the way that they described it. I'd like the representative from planning to clarify that.
Thank you. That was
Thank
one
you.
of my questions.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Ted Kozak, Planning and Development. So, focus in on how it's measured, or what are we talking about?
Well,
The
I
window
think
signs?
there was, in terms of the measurement and how the square footage was, if you could address that first, and then maybe address the 50 square foot limitation overall but if you could just talk about the measurement method first, I think that's important for them to see.
So, usually when it's one big block, you measure the outer extents. I guess it's easier with the blue X there, but with negative space, meaning we've already heard about safety, the whole point of this code and every other code in the state, pretty much they're all the same, 25% for window signage for safety. And that, here we clarify with the groupings, so that allows a little more flexibility, grouping together like those 4 windows there together, counting towards the 25%. So that 25% you're going to find across the state in most jurisdictions. And then how we specifically talk about the 50 square feet is taking that square feet on what we've, assuming how the code officer measured. So 50 square feet for all of the window signage on a particular facade. So it is my understanding there are 2 facades we're talking about, so potentially up to 100 square feet. So, but not exceeding all the other, what we just talked about, 25% for the grouping, for the safety, for seeing through, but then on any particular facade, line of windows, it doesn't matter how many windows that you cover up, as long as you don't exceed 50 square feet. So and the reason for the 50 square feet, and it's pretty lenient because the sign code does not count them towards if you want to start installing permanent signage. So essentially, you can double dip with the window sign. It doesn't need a sign permit. You can put it on, and in this case, if it becomes in compliance, there's no sign permit needed. You just the code officer comes by and inspects it, verifies that it looks like it meets the 25%. So, any other questions of permanent signage? Or?
Yes, you heard the gentleman's comment where he was the maker of the sign, so he measured the actual vinyl. But in terms of the code application, does our code say anything, or what about the blank space between the letters, that sort of thing? Is that?
Well, we'll use discretion, but I think it's pretty clear here that a complete blue square, that's going to be counted as the extent, so you can't see through that. So if you have a bunch of words up top and below, then we'll obviously take the experts verbiage on what that square feet of the actual sign that you can't see through. And the word we like to use in the planning department is like, we won't count the negative area, so negative means the area that's not being blocked. For regular signs, we use polygons to measure around each letter. But when you're talking so many little letters here, I think we're not requiring a sign permit, so we're gonna accept reasonable and logical amount of square feet that is being provided, so.
Since they have 5 tenants right now inside that space, I've been there several times. Since they have 5 tenants, do they get 25% of set of windows for their tenants or not?
It's just per the grouping here, the windows. So the number of tenants, it doesn't matter how many tenants, it's based on the square feet and the 25% rule, put them together. So that is a benefit. It doesn't matter. You could have, just 2 tenants, you still can go to the max. And then it sounds like there's pretty much on the same page on the sidewalk signs, so. And then, like I said, downtown is a little more lenient on signage, so you can double dip. You can go up to permanent signage, 100 square feet on the facades facing the street. So potentially there could be 150 square feet on each facade. So 100 square feet of that is permanent signage. It needs a sign permit and all that stuff, so.
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Is there any other option, if we eliminate the window issue, is there any way else to do signage down there that everybody can get advertised? Because they're having difficulty bringing foot traffic in. If we send them away for 30 days to look at other signage options, can you come up with solutions with them?
I think we saw one of them in a photo, that there were a number of signs that looks like it's in compliance, and there's signage already, sign permits and all that. So it's a combination of window signs plus permanent signage, which gets you the maximum double dipping, if you will. So, and again, it's safety. Anywhere in the city, safety is the key. So that's why the 25% rule is there.
And back to the two of you, would you be willing to work with the city over the next 30 days to try to see if you can come up with signage?
Most definitely, like I've been explaining for the last year or so, we have been trying our best to work alongside with the city. I'm pretty sure that the past conversation we've just had here, it kind of shows that the window signage situation is a little bit confusing, in regards to the lettering and the negative space like he had mentioned. I also do want to emphasize the fact that although these pictures kind of bring emphasis to the windows that are covered, if you look at the space right here, there are many windows that aren't covered in general. We just wanted to provide photos of what we were here to debate about. Again, we would never ever want to put anyone in a situation where safety was a concern, which is the reason why we have so many extra windows that we didn't even dare to touch. Again, we have been trying. We are more than willing to continue trying to work alongside the city in order to find a resolution. But at the same time, we also do want to stand up for our vendors who are struggling. This space has been open for, I believe, going on to 2 years now. And although it's a little bit embarrassing for us to say that we're still struggling, it's the reality of the situation. We have lost various vendors. We have seen many ups and downs in the businesses. We have attempted to work with the city on multiple occasions. I don't know if you guys have had any opportunity, but back in May, we actually worked with the board in order to have a large Cinco de Mayo event. We've been trying everything we can to support these vendors, and we're just looking for a bit of understanding on the city's part and a bit of support, I guess you could say, which you guys have already provided in the past, but this is just one of those occasions where we feel like our hands are a bit tied. I also do want to make mention that I just thought this comment was a bit ironic. This was during our past interaction with Stefan. During our conversations, in order to look for resolutions, I did ask about murals, whether or not what was the regulations in regards to murals. After giving it a little bit of thought, his words might have been different, but I believe, and I quote, that the comment was, you can cover as much of the wall as you want because there aren't any specific regulations in regards to murals. As long as you receive the proper permits, we can pretty much cover up the entire building, which I just find a little bit ridiculous. Again, we're not looking to be bright, call for attention. We're just looking to just show people that we are there, And this is coming from someone that has been going back and forth and speaking to people and replying to reviews in regards to a lot of people saying, I had no idea this place was here for the last 2 years. Thank you.
We understand that. I've been in Clearwater 32 years. The last 20 of those 32 years have been downtown. And I'm still here. And I'm glad to see you come in, but there has to be conformity. There is a safety issue. And you can also tell your tenants, you can have your sidewalk signs permitted, but only 2 feet away from the building. There's reasons for that. People have to walk. We have people in wheelchairs there in Clearwater.
No, most definitely. That's the
You know,
reason
they have
why-
to be able to get through.
Yeah.
So they can advertise with, if they want to spend permit money, they can do it that way. There's all kind of advertisements. I graduated in marketing. There's 1,000 ways. And I want to see your business succeed. But you have to be conformed with the ordinances. They're not going to change. Even though downtown Clearwater is struggling, I've seen it in its heyday, and I see it struggling now, and you're struggling. We understand that, but other business downtown are struggling also, and they're in compliance. And you have to consider that.
I agree. I have one question for you, because you also mentioned about being able to work with the city of Clearwater. I will say when we, worked on designing this, again, we have 17 windows? 17 windows in total? It's an entire block, so I don't know if you guys have had the opportunity to visit, but it's the Cleveland Street Market. It's the whole first floor. It takes an entire block.
Oh, I've heard a lot about it, yeah.
106 windows
Oh,
and
there you go,
doors.
106 windows. So when we did that, we have less than, I think, 5 or 6 windows that have those color blocks on them.
Correct.
Every single one of them has another window right next to it that was untouched. So from a safety perspective, anyone that walks up to it has the ability to be able to look inside and have no issues. So I guess, we would like to work with the city and figure out if, in reality, right now, it seems like the issue is just with some of the color blocks. Can we work on removing some of the color blocks, but we still wouldn't, it would be so difficult for us with 106 windows.
That's what
in
you're going to
an
have to
entire
do.
place.
You're talking about the main entrance. That's what's important.
No, those
Mr.
are not our
Chairman,
main
we're
entrance.
going way too far here.
Yeah.
The code board
Yes.
decides whether or not there's a violation of the codes. Any issues dealing with variances or anything else deals directly with the city.
Well, I have the right to ask the question.
You have the right to ask a question, but it's not relevant to this case. The city.
It's
will look
relevant
at
to me.
Whether this is a sign violation as to whether or not there's adequate space in there or too much of the sign.
We
That is what
understand
the
that,
code
Mr.
board, you're not here to correct how they do their business. That is inappropriate for this board.
I have to disagree with you. I
You
think
can, but I'm the attorney for the board.
I understand
and
that
I'm giving
too.
you my legal advice, and I've been doing this for about 30 years here. So I think I understand how the board works and what you're supposed to be looking at. When you get involved in other issues, that's not the purview of this board.
I don't quite understand what you mean by other issues.
Whether or not there's adequate ability for the police or fire to look into it has nothing to do with this board. That has to do with the
Well, the
city.
gentleman was up here before, said that it is a safety issue as well.
Mr. Chairman, the code violation is what you're here to
Correct.
hear, right? We're not here this has happened before. We're not here to tell them other than how the city wants them to come in compliance. We're not here to direct them on that. That's other agencies in the city.
I'm trying to help.
And they get time once we do our violations. They have time to fix it.
So is there another forum, another city forum where they should be addressing any request for a variance?
Absolutely.
I guess in terms of, Mr. Chair, if I may, on the city staff side, our position is that we're presenting essentially a fact question to this board in terms of whether the 25% or 50 square foot on the frontage, that's the fact question that's in front of the board to decide. There's obviously a dispute between our inspector and the representatives of the property owner in terms of whether or not that threshold has been exceeded. I think that the gentleman stated that they acknowledge that the 50 square feet would be exceeded on the frontage of the building, but there's some debate regarding the 25% and whether or not the negative space. I think that's purely within this board's authority to determine one way or the other. City staff's position is that it does exceed those numbers and there does need to be some reduction made. Staff won't dictate exactly how they do that because it's their business. They, they might come up with some creative ways. We would try to help them get into compliance, but we wouldn't exactly dictate how to do that beyond the thresholds. That's really the rule that we've been given by the city council. And so I guess that would be my segue to the next point of conversation that we've been having in terms of just the overall policy and the goals downtown and that sort of thing. I think those are all great conversations, but this isn't actually the forum for that, and this board enforces the rules that are given to this board by the city council, so that if the property owners think that the rules aren't serving the community and they're not accomplishing good policy, then the avenue for that would be to go to the council, go through the land development regulation process, work with their council representatives and get those rules changed. Unless and until that happens, we have a rule. You've been presented with what the rule is. It's the 25% per window or window grouping, or 50 square feet for the building frontage. There's been some conversation about tenants and separate things. Our code doesn't really distinguish between tenants. It distinguishes between buildings and building frontages. In terms of other properties around that may or may not be in violation or in compliance, not relevant. This is the case that's before you. So if those other properties were brought before you, then that would be the consideration. But whether or not someone else is in violation really has no connection between whether or not this property is in violation. So again, I understand the point of it is in terms of a fairness kind of what's fair. And so I understand that's why people do often bring that up. You've heard it before in many cases where someone will say, why are they citing me? The neighbor's also in violation. Just generally speaking, that's not really relevant because it doesn't get to what the point is. And so I guess I would just say that I think that ultimately you're deciding whether or not the signs that you see exceed the threshold in the code. And if you decide that, then they would need to reduce what they have. And we work with staff to determine the best way to do that. I guess the last thing I would say is in terms of the safety issues, again, I think that's kind of a policy discussion. I think that's what the attorney's mentioning is the board doesn't really debate the good or bad policy question. We have a code that we have to apply, and whether or not that's good or bad policy is a question for our city council to decide. So obviously we, as the staff, we all have our own personal opinions about whether the rules are good or bad, but we have to put that aside and enforce them. That's our obligation as city staff. So you've heard some of the reasons why the policy's there. I think that was just sort of some rebuttal to the policy discussion that they were raising. But at the end of the day, it's not entirely relevant for this proceeding because there's a strict factual question in front of the board.
Thank you. Can I have a first motion?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Something I need to say. My concern and my confusion is this, and that is that I understand your concern, and the difficulty I have with the first motion is in understanding exactly whether or not there's a violation based on Mr. Mastriano's presentation and the amount of lettering, the voided spaces or whatever you call them in between, and his calculations, from what I understand, submit that it's less than 25%. The code enforcement officer has a different view, and so I can't.
But it's more than 50 feet.
Okay, if that's the case, then.
Yes.
Then.
So it isn't that part of the violation.
Okay, if that indeed is the fact in the case, then fine, I will accept that.
If I may, Mr. Chair, on that point, the code does say in the window sign standards, it said, this is verbatim from the code, the total area of window signs erected along a street frontage shall not exceed 50 square feet. And if you want to hear from our sign inspector, you know, the city has, you're familiar with Mr. Burkhart, he presents all the sign cases. He's essentially our dedicated sign inspector, and he's the expert in terms of the application of that provision, if you'd like to hear more from him. But I think the language is pretty clear, but if you'd like to hear more, I'd ask that you direct questions to Mr. Burkhart regarding that.
Okay, Mr. Burkhart, come up.
Can I say something quick, please, if you can consider this? Mr. Simpson, you said it as you were discussing. I agree with it, it's over 50 square feet for the entire building. But as I showed that one picture, it's, what do you consider a building? Because you can have strip centers that are one building, but multiple tenants, and they all have signage. So if you go down this rabbit trail, what do you consider a building? Now, I mean, this building has 5 different entrances. So you would think that would be 5 different buildings, but it's not, it's one building. And the same thing with you're the one I showed you. This is one building, but there's 5 different tenants, and I'm sure every one of them are in compliant because they probably went, in order to get these, the metal signs up, they had to have permits to do that. And so that was all permitted, so it is in compliance. So I'm not saying that this building is out of compliant, I'm just saying it is one building. And the same thing is the 901 is one building. But it's got 5 different entrances and it's got multiple tenants. So if you look at comparably this building and many other buildings that are strip centers, what do you do there? I mean, I understand it's how do you view this this complex, this building, this one building, and that's why I think that you have to, as I said when I began with, it's how you view. Yes, it's under 25%. No, it's not. It's more than 50. So yes, we are wrong in being more than 50. But what do you view it as? Okay. And that's why I asked the board to use common sense and say, I think that it could stand on its own. But
well, thank you for your time. We're going to have Stefan come up and speak a little bit more too.
Mr. Chairman, can you ask the inspector what 7C is so we can have a clarification on dimensional requirements? Because I just want the board to be aware exactly what the language is saying, because it says window signs shall not exceed 25% of any window or glass door opening.
So the 25% doesn't refer to the entire frontage. That refers to the individual window or door opening or window grouping. And so, for example, we have this here. So this is one window grouping, okay? So that's referring to the 25%, not to the entire frontage. So what you did is you calculated all windows per frontage together. And but that's the limitation for that is the 50 square feet. So, but what I did in that case...
If you could just speak to the chair,
sorry.
just as a formality. Thank you.
So that building, the Nolan, is a little bit special. So what we did, and that works in favor of the tenants, we divided the part of the building where the Cleveland Street Market is located into 2 frontages. So the one building with the curved part of the building with the entrance is one frontage, and the rest facing Cleveland Street is another frontage. So that's a total of 100 square feet. So that's one we did, and then there's another part of the building of the parcel where the Slow Cafe is. That's the 3rd frontage. So it's another 50 square feet. So that's a total of 150 square feet allowable sign area. So that's our position for the calculation, and
And that 50 square feet is to be used in each of those designated areas, not
yes,
not all in one area.
each frontage. So not the building, not the entire building, so the back, the pool area or anything like that that faces not the street. We
Right.
call it the street frontage, and that's the basis for our calculation.
Okay.
And I have a question. Can you please show us the picture again of Slow? Because this is a different building.
Yeah, that's a different, but it's one parcel.
Exactly.
Can go back to,
I just think that is clearer than this picture to show the violation.
Give me 1 second, slideshow. So you see here, this is the front side of the Slow Cafe, and in the back, that's where the Cleveland Street Market is. So this is Slow Cafe, and that's the door opening consisting of two door panels, glass door panels. And I would, we would need to reduce it to 25% for that opening.
Sorry, if I could say something. I had no idea that Slow is a completely different building. It's across the street from Cleveland Street Market. I haven't seen a notice for this specific area. This is not included in any of the conversations that we had today. I had no idea that Slow was also being included in this, in today's statement, because again, it's two different buildings. The building B is where Cleveland Street Market is, and building A, which is across from that one, is where Slow is. So I'd just like to clarify that the square footage and all of the conversations that we've had today, I wasn't aware that Slow was
But it's all part of the same complex.
Or the same address.
It's not really across the street, it's just across the little plaza.
Right, but on the letter, he clarifies that the violation is for 901. That's not 901, so.
That's the address for the parcel, 901. So that's for the entire parcel violation.
Okay, well, I just wanted to clarify the square footage and Slow, and also these are old pictures because he's our tenant. He did his own signage and everything. We were involved in the designing of Cleveland Street Market windows, not involved in any of this.
Rebecca Mulder, Code Manager, I just want to clarify, because it's mentioned a couple of times about the age of the photos. I just wanted to clarify for you guys that part of the process when our inspector presents a case, he presents from the initiation of the violation through the date today to provide the board what it was at the identification of the violation, and then provide supporting documentation to show through what it looked like as it's gone through the process and the communication with that property owner up until the day of the violation, so that the board has a full picture of the progress or lack thereof, depending on what is being presented. So they have that. So yes, there are definitely some dated photos. We document that on the photos here for this one showing 2/20, just to show what it was at that time. And then there's some additional photos that inspector has up that are from today, I believe, or yesterday, showing, like you said, the changes that have been made, like this one here, showing the difference that on that Slow Cafe. Clearly, it's different than that one from February, so they're working to try to come into compliance. I just wanted to clarify that process for everyone, that we do show a time span from the initiation, which was, I believe, back in December of last year when this case started, and we try to go through the process so you have a full picture for the board.
Thank you very much. Inspector? Anything else for the inspector? Board? Can I have a motion? First motion?
Yes. I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
And a second?
Uh-oh.
Do I have a second? Motion fails.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. There's got, yeah.
What's the answer to that? Motion fails.
Well, I mean, I represent the city staff, so I would defer to your board's attorney. I would just say that if, you know, there is, I guess, some, you know, if the board doesn't take a formal action by way of a motion, it would not preclude the city from essentially issuing another notice and coming back and basically bringing the case again and presenting new evidence, and it doesn't resolve the situation. I mean, certainly we always want to, this is a compliance-driven process, so we're not, you know, our whole goal is to make sure that we can help business owners get into compliance. So I guess if the result of the case here is that there's just not a finding today, then, I mean, I can't speak just for staff entirely. We would certainly have to discuss this after the meeting, but I don't think that we've heard anything today so far that would indicate that it's in compliance in terms of our view of the code. The debate about frontage and things like that, that's something that we can push up the chain in the through the community development coordinator. The code talks about interpreting authority through the code community development coordinator. So I think that may be something that we would consider doing. But ultimately, like I said, if the board doesn't resolve this case in one way or the other, then the city would have to decide whether or not we would want to simply bring it back and present more evidence. And I don't know that that's really a great place for anybody to be. I'm sure that the property representatives would like resolution as well. Not sure if any of that was helpful, but.
So here's what happened. So you made a motion and you didn't get a second, so that motion dies. So based on Robert's rules, what could happen is the majority of the board that voted or didn't vote could bring this matter back up. And so these people don't get a resolution. If somebody wants to make a motion that there is no violation and you second it and the majority votes for that, then that resolves. That puts an end to this issue. The city obviously can come back with, as mentioned, with different factual basis for some other violation should that occur. But if you want to put this to bed on these violations and just to make sure that you're doing it under both 4.8 and 4.9.
Do I see any other motions on the board for this?
Well, I'd like to say something. Oh, go ahead.
If I may, Rebecca Mulder, there's also two separate, just a reminder, there's two separate cases, and one was for the window signage, the other one was for the sidewalk signs, which are in compliance, and we were seeking a declaration. So just to make sure that we get a vote on both of those.
So, board, let's do that then. Let's see if we can get a declaration.
I have a question about timing. And my hesitation was on the August date. And so there's two ways to go here. Is they either fix it, and I don't know how long that takes, we haven't had any discussion of that, or they make some type of request for a variation, or they go up the chain the way you were suggesting, Mr. Simpson. I'm not sure, is there only option, can they go through community development and go through some kind of variance process there, or does it have to go to the city council? And what kind of time frame are we looking at? Because if it's going to be 6 months or a year, then we know what we need to do. But if it's something that they can get done and then come back to us, or if that's not going to work, then I want to know at least how long is it going to take for them to fix the signage? Because I don't have any idea. Just stripping it off and slapping up a new one, or?
Just to clarify, part of that issue is you have the option to continue this. You have an option of finding one violation and waiting on the, one motion and waiting on the second one. So based on whatever information you're going to get.
Right.
I mean, we've put them off for 6 months before in those situations, or you do it for status update. So those are all options you have.
I would just like to say something, if you don't mind.
I would make, I might be good. Go ahead, you want to say
We're
something?
very happy you're downtown.
Yeah.
I'm a downtown business too. I know what it's like. However, I think our decision here is, are they currently in violation? And looking at the pictures, they're currently in violation. And that's what is
That's
our
our
job.
decision.
Okay, so how
to
much
determine.
time are we gonna give them?
Then the time
Right.
is your issue, yes, that's the
Yes.
time is the issue. So how much time do we give them?
Well, we've got a representative from planning that,
Right.
in terms of whether or not there's a variance, I don't believe so.
Ted Kozak, again, we don't use the term variances in this city. We have flexibility, but, so let's strike from the record the word variance. And for signs, there's generally no flexibility. There's working with them, there are other options potentially, but then if you're taking from one pot of square feet, you're taking from another. We have something called a comprehensive sign program. That's our flexibility in this city. So there's no board, no hearing for that process. It's applying to the city, and there are certain limitations if you want to go down that rabbit trail, 3/1808. So CDC 3/1808 is where the CSP program is. But again, there's a maximum, and we're going to take all the signs, whether window or everything will go into that pot of square feet.
Can you clarify also the question about frontage as applied to this property? Has there ever been any application to the community development coordinator to determine and make a formal interpretation of what the square footage of the frontage is, or where is the frontage for this particular building? Has that ever been formally interpreted in this?
There's been an interpretation. I wouldn't call it formal, but there's been a leniency on how many frontages are. Normally you have 4 sides on a building, and already we were talking about 2 or 3. So here we have a side of a building facing a street, but then it curves a little, so we're counting that also as another frontage. So formal, no. Formal is the CSP.
Can you explain that process a little bit?
It's through the community development coordinator as well.
How often do they meet? How often do they meet?
It's not a board. It's administrative.
Okay.
But
So it's not a
it's the parallel to the V word we talked about.
How long would it take?
And it takes as long as because if it's not a positive resolution, then there's a letter that's given that's maybe not something that the applicant likes, then it will take longer than, optimally less than a month. So, but if it's a letter that's not positive, then it could make its way down some appeal processes.
So board, if we gave a couple months,
Till the end of September?
okay. Do you mind redoing the motion?
No. I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Somebody want to do the second?
I'll do it, I don't care.
I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before 60 days?
September 24th.
September 24th. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of
$150 per day.
$150 per day per violation for each day each violation continues to exist. If fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. What this gives you now, we've made our motion, is it gives you time to work on it. You work with your inspector from this point forward.
Okay.
This is not for us to hash out anymore.
What about the declaration?
We still need the declaration.
Yeah, we need to do the declaration of compliance on the.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Because you have removed the
You
signs.
do have one good piece of news, it's good.
Yes, this will be at least good news for you. I move to find the respondent was in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case. The violation was corrected prior to today's hearing, and to enter an order that no fine be imposed. If the respondent repeats this violation, the board may order a fine up to $500 for each day the violation continues to exist.
That was for the code of 5425, right?
For the street signs.
For the street signs.
Yeah.
Do we have a second on that?
Second.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
So the street signs are fully in compliance. And the other, you work with your sign inspector.
At least that, yeah.
Thank you, council, for your insights. Old business, you can guys go to.
We missed this one.
Oh, sorry.
410.
There's four gentlemen in the back.
410.
Okay. Case number 6925, find respondents Regino Museo Escuero Martin at 809 Glen Oak Avenue East in violation of her public health, safety, and welfare. Pool and issue order of compliance. Anybody here to speak on that?
I will.
You're here. Trying to move on to the affidavits.
Good afternoon again. Kevin Maddox, Clearwater Code Compliance. This is for 809 Glen Oak Avenue. It's reference a green pool. It's one violation for code section 31503B5A, public health nuisance of a hazardous swimming pool. Notice the violation was mailed and posted on the 16th of June, 2025. Compliance date by the 26th of June, 2025. Certified mail was received, but it was unsigned. This is the posting on June 16th. The neighbor had brought this to my attention. I was able to view the pool from her backyard through a broken section of the fence. So I did not go into their backyard, but this is my ability to see this green pool. The second slide is the front of the house. This is on the 16th of June. Again, 16th of June, a different picture. 26th of June, it's remained the same, and that's on the 7th of, I kept monitoring this because it was gonna go for quite a while. And then today was still a green pool. Compliance can be met by the pool being serviced and maintained on a regular basis. This violation, we requested compliance on or before August 2nd, 2025, or a fine of $150 per violation for each day the violation continues to exist.
Have you had any contact with the owner?
In this case, there was no owner to get a hold of. There was a sign on the front of the building of some sort of a BlackRock management. I don't remember the name. I don't know. Attempts were made, but no owner was contacted, or the ability to contact was not available.
Okay, thank you.
I have a motion.
I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before August
Second.
2nd, 2025. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day each violation continues to exist. If fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
I have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you. I'm going to lump the affidavits of compliances listed. They're on page 6, so you can look that up. 5.1.1, case 1723, Deborah Hicks. 5.1.2, case 7424, James Mario and Michelle Marino, both cases. 5.1.3, case 1325, Iris Valentin Vinapio. Case 5.1.4, case 2125, David Lee. 5.1.5, case 3435, 912 Plaza Street Land Trust, 912 Plaza Street. And 5.1.6, case 3525, Lance and Bianca Lizargia. And 5.1.7, case 5925, Desiree Hoyle as affidavits of compliance. If somebody could.
Next page, you have a couple more, or you have at least one more.
Oh, so, yeah, one.
Yeah.
Oh, those are non-compliant, so.
The other ones are non-compliant.
Yeah, so let's do the compliance first. We'll come back to the non-compliance.
Do you need a second?
I need somebody to read the non-compliant. the compliance one, page 6.
I move to accept the affidavits of compliance as listed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Case 5.2 has been continued. 5.3, we're going to accept the affidavits of non-compliance respondent Christine DeSoas at 214 Highland Avenue. Do I have a motion on that?
Don't we have to do?
I move to accept the affidavit of non-compliance and issue an order that imposes fines and states that fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed. The city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. Okay, nuisance abatement. So you're up for that, huh?
Yes, sir.
Case number 66-25.
And again, good afternoon, Board. John Stevens, Code Compliance Inspector for the City of Clearwater. Again, case number 6625 regarding 1261 Pierce Street, and this is a nuisance abatement case. We have one violation here of Section 3-1503B5A, which is lot clearing, accumulation, and placement of nuisances. This case originally started back in the beginning of May, on May the 8th, and I ended up working with the tenant, and he was trying to get some stuff taken care of and whatnot, and I had to go back out and post the property again on July the 2nd, because it kind of stalled and started going back the other way. With the new posting, that changed the compliance date to July the 12th, and I actually received a certified mail from the property owner back in the office today on the 22nd. These are the two postings that I did originally on May the 8th and then on July the 2nd. And then here's what the property looked like on May the 8th. A bunch of cardboard boxes that were partially empty. Some of them actually had some food items in them, things of that nature. They were wet and starting to rot and whatnot. And then further on down, to basically the best way to describe this property, it's a duplex. And it's got a front entrance, and then it's got a unit in the back that you have to walk down the sidewalk to get to the back unit. Well, this is that sidewalk coming down to the back unit door right there. And again, you see more cardboard boxes, and it's kind of hard to see, but in this one box right here, it looks like there was like rotting food elements and things of that nature on that date. This was on July the 2nd when I had to repost it. These boxes, like some of them would come out and they would go away, and then more would show up. They kept coming and going, but these had actually been there for quite a while. And as you can see, he actually, if you look at the other picture over here on the right, the gentleman that lives there cleaned up some of this, but not all of it. There's also a lot of outdoor storage that's going on at this property, but that will be dealt with in another case on another day. This was on July the 14th, which was the compliance date from that second posting. And as you can see, still not everything's brought into compliance. And then there's some more food items there that were sitting out and about, and more of the trash that was further down the hallway in the back. And then this is what it looks like today as well. Same pile of TVs and trash that are there, and then some more food and other items that are still here in the back. So compliance can be met for lot clearing by removing all the trash, junk, debris from the property and maintaining it on a regular basis. And then we are requesting compliance 5 days after the board renders its order.
Thank you. Are you the gentleman with this property? You've been so patient. I believe you're the tenant, you said.
Again, I'm Chris Steiner. I'm the tenant there. And I'm just asking for flexibility, I suppose. I'm just trying to move, as I mentioned earlier, back on August 7th of 2024, I had texted my landlord with a photo I'd be glad to show you if you'd like, of the leaky roof of the stain on the ceiling.
That part's fine. That we're good on that.
Right, I understand. I'm just saying, I'm mentioning that
Yeah.
because I haven't ever complained about it for code violation, because I was concerned that I might not have my lease renewed. In any case, I just, those boxes I've been breaking down, folding up, and I can recycle them. Those 3 TVs, I found that solid waste will pick them up when I called them this morning, because I put them out by the trash, and collections fellow said he wouldn't pick them up, so then they were brought back to the side of the building. So tomorrow's the trash pickup day, so they said that they would pick up all 3.
Okay.
And any case, that's all I have for you. I think I'm just.
No, we appreciate your time.
I've been so slow because of sinus issues and headaches, I believe, from the mold infection from.
Well, what the city's able to do now with the nuisance abatement lien is this will be cleared up. So when this motion is made, the city's going to come on and clear up the space for you in a short period of time, if it's not cleared up. So this is something the landlord is going to have to take care of. It's nice if you help him out, but the landlord has to take care of it ultimately.
Well, I did plan to have a moving sale once it stops raining and on the weekends, and I can have help to
But
prevent
stuff that's outside will have to be taken care of.
Right.
Post haste.
So I just wanted to see what the disposition of this would be, and you know, the inspector was telling me I needed to make sure that things that are obvious garbage would have to be cleared out within 5 days.
Right, things of value to you, make sure they're inside, not outside. So, if you have a seat for a minute, we're going to go, we'll present the motion. Are there any questions for anybody? If I can have a nuisance abatement lien, the longest one you have to read.
I move to enter an order finding the respondent in violation of code and requiring the respondent to correct the violations within 5 days of the board's written order. If the respondent does not comply within the time specified, the city may take reasonable actions, including entry onto the property, to abate and maintain the nuisance and charge the respondent with the reasonable cost, which will become a lien on the property. If costs, fines, and fees remain unpaid for 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second?
I'll second it. Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
So, you understand what that will be, though? There'll be a fee charged to the landlord
If it's not cleared up.
if it's not cleared
In
up.
5 days.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello again.
All right. John Stevens, Code Compliance Inspector for the City of Clearwater. This is case number 67-25 regarding 3431 Deerfield Lane. This is also a nuisance abatement case. One violation here for 3-1503B7 and B8, which is a lot clearing. So we're talking about overgrowth, grass, as well as unmaintained right-of-way. Notice of violation was sent out June 24th with a compliance date of July 4th, and the certified mail was returned to sender in the office on 7/7. That's my actual posting there in the front yard. And this was a picture of the property on that day. It's kind of hard to tell, but if you look back in behind the posting here, this lot's kind of splotchy. Some of it is like normal growth, if you will, but then you have these giant where it's up over a foot. And that's kind of back in behind the posting here, over here in the garage, down on this area. You can see along the driveway there. And then, of course, it's growing across the sidewalk by about 6 to 8 inches roughly. That was on the date of violation. This is actually going to be a couple days after the compliance date, because compliance date fell on the holiday. You can see the grass has not been taken care of at all. And then this was this morning. And you can see that there's been no change to the property. And I have not had any contact with the owner, but in speaking with some neighbors in the area, apparently this property, I guess, might be going some type of probate or something right now, some type of legal action between some family members, but I'm not sure the status of it.
Thank you.
So compliance can be met for lot clearing by obviously cutting the grass to include the curb line and sidewalk to a length of 12 inches or less and maintain the lawn on a regular basis. And then we're requesting compliance 5 days after the board renders its order.
Have a motion?
I move to enter an order finding the respondent in violation of the code and requiring the respondent to correct the violations within 5 days of the board's written order. If the respondent does not comply within the time specified, the city may take all reasonable actions, including entry onto the property to abate and maintain the nuisance and charge the respondent with the reasonable cost, which will become a lien on the property. If costs, fines, and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second?
Second it.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you, Board.
Case number 6825. Clearwater Living
Chair,
Trust.
if we could skip to 7.6, case 83-25, and do that one
Okay,
before the rest.
we're going to jump over to case 83-25, Akira LLC at 1916 Macomber Avenue.
My bad, which one?
Yeah, 8325.
Number for 1916 Macomber.
Sorry. 1916.
19 Macomber, right?
Yeah.
7.6.
Yeah, 7.6.
Good afternoon, Board. Inspector Dixon, Code Compliance Officer, City of Clearwater. This is case 8325 for a nuisance abatement for 1916 Macomber Avenue. There's one violation for accumulation of trash and debris. Property is posted at the beginning of the month, and they were given 10 days to come into compliance. There's a pile of debris up behind the mailbox on the 1st, and there's still a pile of debris today. So compliance can be met by removing the pile of debris from behind the mailbox, and I'm requesting compliance in 5 days after the board renders its order.
Do we have a motion?
I
Any
move to enter an
questions?
order finding the respondent in violation of code and requiring the respondent to correct the violations within 5 days of the board's written order.
Do we have a second?
Wait a minute, she's not done.
I have more to read.
Oh, sorry, it's really long, I forgot.
If the respondent does not comply within the time specified, the city may take all reasonable actions, including entry onto the property, to abate and maintain the nuisance and charge the respondent with the reasonable costs which will become a lien on the property. If costs, fines, and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Do we have a second? Do we have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Board.
Thank you. Back to case number 6825, Ryan Allen and Stephen Allen at 2523 Fawn Circle. Welcome back.
Hello, Board. Kevin Maddox, Clearwater Code Compliance Inspector. Let me find
Last three.
2523 Fawn Court, a nuisance abatement, case number 6825. One violation for the code section of 1503B7 and 1503B8, lot clearing overgrowth, unmaintained right-of-way. Notice the violation was mailed on 6/30 of 2025, compliance date by 7/10 of 2025. Certified mail was sent on 6/30, but the green card was not received. This was posted on June 30th of 2025. And on the 30th of June, this is what the yard looked like. And as I'm taking these pictures, the tufts of grass started to make the house disappear. The grass growing over the edges started to make the curbs and sidewalks disappear. On the 10th of July, it continued to accelerate. And on the 23rd, this car disappeared from my picture, and the curbs and sidewalks continued to disappear.
Good pictures.
Compliance can be met by cutting all grass, vegetation, and debris, include edging, curb line, sidewalk, and continuing to maintain it. For the violations, one violation, lot clearing and unmaintained right-of-way, we're requesting compliance 5 days after the board renders its order.
Do we have a motion?
I move to enter an order finding the respondent in violation of code and requiring the respondent to correct the violations within 5 days of the board's written order. If the respondent does not comply within the time specified, the city may take all reasonable actions, including entry onto the property, to abate and maintain the nuisance and charge the respondent with a reasonable cost which will become a lien on the property. If costs, fines, and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Case number 70-25, Regina Marcella Escuero Martin at 809 Glen Oak Avenue.
Good afternoon, Board. Kevin Maddox, Code Compliance Inspector for the City of Clearwater. This will be case 70-25. This is the same property that had the green pool recently. So this is for one violation for Code Section 1503B7, lot clearing overgrowth. Notice of violation was sent out on the 16th of June. Compliance date by the 26th of June. Certified mail was sent out on the 16th of, received back, but it was unsigned on the 16th of July. It was posted on June 16th, and this was, black dome was found in the window. I could not get a hold of any owner for the property, but the lawn was found in this condition and continued to deteriorate over the time. When we got to the 26th, now my cone in the middle of the picture is almost disappeared and covered. The right-of-ways are climbing over curbs and sidewalks. This is where it was posted, both the pool and the lawn. And as of today, you can see it's starting to swallow the tree in the middle. Compliance can be met by cutting all grass and vegetation to include the curb line sidewalk and continuing to maintain it. Of this violation of lot clearing overgrowth, requesting compliance 5 days after the board renders its order.
Do I have a motion?
I move to enter an order finding the respondent in violation of code and requiring the respondent to correct the violations within 5 days of the board's written order. If the respondent does not comply within the time specified, the city may take all reasonable actions, including entry onto the property, to abate and maintain the nuisance and charge the respondent with the reasonable costs which will become a lien on the property. If costs, fines, and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. 7.6,
We did.
we did.
I just did them.
So 7.7's done, or withdrawn, I should say. 7.8, case number 85-25, Greg 16 LLC at 721 Mandalay Avenue. Compliant? Okay.
All right. Good afternoon, Board. Daniel Casman, City of Clearwater Code Compliance. Just want to make sure you're ready.
We're still here.
This is for 721 Mandalay Avenue, a nuisance abatement, case number 85-25. There's one violation here for Code Section 3-1503B5A, B7, and B8 for lot clearing. So the date, every notice was sent out, and compliance date. This is the lot. It was a recently demoed house. It was also sold, so we got to take care of the land. This was back in June. This was the day of the posting on July 9th. Same state. This was after compliance date, same state, and then today, same state. So compliance will be met for lot clearing by mowing the lawn, edging the curb and sidewalk, or removing all trash and debris from the premises,
You got it? Good.
and requesting compliance on or before 5 days from the date the board renders its order.
I move to enter order finding the respondent in violation of code and requiring the respondent to correct the violations within 5 days of the board's written order. If the respondent does not comply within the time specified, the city may take all reasonable actions, including entry onto the property, to abate and maintain the nuisance and charge the respondent with the reasonable costs which will become a lien on the property. If costs, fines, and fees remain unpaid for 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, and or settle such lien.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes, thank you. Case number 85-25, Mark and Carol Tashore at 927 Bruce Avenue for inoperative vehicle.
86-25.
Yep. For our list.
I mean to correct you, I'm sorry.
Oh, did I not say that?
That's what we.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, very good.
Yeah, you said
Yeah, all right,
Yeah.
sorry, my bad, my bad.
Did I say it wrong?
No.
No,
I thought I heard 85-25 again, but maybe I was wrong. All right, let's finish this up. Daniel Kasdan, Code Enforcement Inspector with the City of Clearwater. This is for 927 Bruce Avenue, nuisance abatement, case number 86-25. There's one violation here for Code Section 3-1503B6 for an operative vehicle. This is the date notice of violation was found with compliance date, and the affidavit of posting was done the same day. This came as a complaint about a property with an overgrown yard and a boat trailer with flat tires sitting, again, on the driveway on the side of the house. This was the date of the posting, on the 23rd. Let's better look at that boat. This is after the compliance date on the 11th. The boat is still in bad shape, but somebody did come by and cut the grass. So I tried to get in touch with the owners, but I can't seem to. So all we're coming here today for is to ask them to repair the trailer so it's in a functional state by repairing the wheels and ensuring all of them are full, or by removing the vehicle from the premises. Otherwise, request compliance on before 5 days from the date the board renders its order.
I move to enter an order finding the respondent in violation of code and requiring the respondent to correct the violations within 5 days of the board's written order. If the respondent does not comply within the time specified, the city may take all reasonable actions, including entry onto the property, to abate and maintain the nuisance and charge the respondent with the reasonable cost which will become a lien on the property. If costs, fines, and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Case number 7.1 withdrawn, implied prior to. Seeing no other business before this board, we are adjourned.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you.